Let's get to it. First and foremost, this offense is ass, okay? Second of all, this might not be much of a kid's show. So if there's kids around, maybe you mute it, maybe you put your headphones in. I'm not totally sure. I'm going to do my best to stay on track and to try to keep this as professional as I can. But this is relatively at times a very unserious team. And what I mean by that is we have situations that happen time and time again that they don't execute the way in which you've been taught your whole life to execute certain plays in a baseball game. Now, this might not seem like a big deal to some. You can blame whoever you want. None of us were on the field, so we don't totally know what happened. But I want to walk through the double to right field. Mind you, our offense has scored 1 run in 10 innings with a guy that starts at second base with no outs for the second time in the game, and they couldn't get him in. So before we make a big deal and act like it's the situation that happened in right field here, that wasn't the end-all be-all for this baseball game. However, when the ball gets hit down to the right field corner as an outfielder, you're supposed to, as a good fielder, have what we call an internal clock. And what that means is when the ball's put in play, you have a fundamental idea of where guys are going to be out on the base pass and where you're supposed to go with the ball. If you're an infielder, you know if you're supposed to try to get the lead runner or maybe you take the out at first base. If you're in the outfield, you should know which base to throw the ball to. Now, to be fair to some of these guys, they don't actually play these natural positions all that much. Fraley probably hadn't played right field in what seems like 2 weeks. Spencer Steer's playing first base. Well, he's been playing all year, so he probably doesn't deserve much of a pass. And obviously, Matt McClain's playing second. But I don't know for the life of me, when a ball gets hit down the right field line, why you would even consider throwing the ball to second base. He was safe by a mile. There was never going to be a play at second base. The tying run in the baseball game is at first base. You have to know time and score. That ball, 100 out of 100 times, should be going to home. And I don't know what Baseball Planet or what fundamentals they do. Maybe they have a different fundamental idea of what I've always seen baseball be played at. The cutoff man for the play at the plate is the first baseman on a play like that. And yes, I will also openly admit, if they throw the ball to Matt McClain and everybody's screaming 4-4-4, they're going home and McClain's not paying attention, that's somewhat on McClain, sure. But I'm openly saying my guess, my fundamental guess in watching baseball my whole life is that they throw the ball to second base and Stuart Fairchild, who burned our tail, and you know what? There's some poetic justice here to a small extent about Stuart Fairchild burning our tail. But Stuart Fairchild probably seen that they made the wrong decision in throwing the ball to second base, and he decided then to take off at home. Somebody probably didn't see him taking off home, and by the time the communication got to McClain, he then heard it and then decided to throw home. It maybe wasn't communicated to him in time. That's all I'm going to say. Does it mean I'm trying to defend Matt McClain? Everyone's going to come to me and be like, "Whoa, you're just defending Matt McClain." I'm trying to present exactly how things happen on a baseball field. The one logical question I would love a reporter to ask with some baseball IQ is, why are we throwing the ball to second base? Can you give me a great reason for that? You can't. There isn't one. They scored 1 run, Nick. I get that at the end of these games, we're going to sit here and make a big deal about stuff. Emilio Pagan, of course, is going to be on the chopping block. People are going to be upset about him. I'm not saying he's innocent. You held a team to 0 runs for 8 innings, and you finally get an opportunity to win a baseball game 1-0 for yourself, by the way. For ourselves, not the other team, for ourselves. And we blow it. The other day, Pagan obviously came into a game where we fought and battled, and we had a 2-run lead, and we blew it. So there's some blame to go around for Emilio. But for as many guys as we have on this team that are average at best, and in fact, I'll even go so far to say below average players, AAA players, maybe quadruple A players, it sure as hell seems that we don't have a whole lot of baseball intellect. And if we don't have baseball intellect and we don't have great talent, then what do we have? So that's why I'm frustrated. You know what? If the guy hits a home run, so be it. You lose because they're better than you. They are probably better than us. But to just continue to lose because you just don't completely understand some of the fundamentals of baseball, not being able to Tyler Stevenson on an outside curveball earlier in the game with a guy on second base with nobody out. There's an outside breaking ball, and we're basically swinging through it because we're pulling off the baseball. You should be trying to find a way to hit the ball to the right side. That should be your goal when you're up there. Yet we swing through that. Can't get the guy to third base with less than 2 outs. Austin Wynns hits a ball off the top of the wall. We decide we're going to pinch run him for Jacob Hurtubise. Because Austin Wynns is probably one of the few guys I actually trust at the plate right now. I don't know. Not a lot makes sense. That's what I make of all of it. What we talk about in a game like this from here on out with me is probably going to sound like sour grapes to most people. I'm upset. I just watched a team, Nick, that I felt like deserved to win this game, and they didn't do it. That's what hurts the most. They deserve to win this game, Nick. You know, I seen a lot of comments today, and I don't want to get too far into this, Nick, but I seen a lot of comments today, and we're going to get to this on the back half about people being like, well, you know, it's no big deal. Hayes will be back on Friday. What's the big deal? The big deal is that you spend a shitload of money in the offseason to try to win an extra game or two. You try to find a deal here or a deal there that can win you an extra game or two, and yet you decide you don't want to bring up guys that might be able to hit a ball over the baseball fence and help you win a game because, oh, it ain't no big deal, Al. We'll just bring up a guy. We don't want to burn an option. Who gives a rat's tail about an option about Rhys Hines? Are you serious? Are you serious? I mean, come on. You're going to sit here and rationalize with me that Rhys Hines you don't want to burn an option for? Come on. If we're banking on options for Rhys Hines, this franchise is long cooked if it isn't cooked already. I am so sick and tired of this franchise not trying to find a way to just to don't worry about anything other than just winning. Winning. That's it. I don't give a damn about whether or not this guy's service time or that guy's options are burned. Find a way to win the baseball game that you're playing right now. And maybe Austin, maybe Hines and maybe Benson mean nothing. It means nothing. They would have done literally nothing tonight. Well, I'll tell you who did nothing. And I don't mean this disrespectful to him. I appreciate him serving our country. But Jacob Hurtubise being on this roster right now is an absolute joke. It's a joke. You're not going to be able to convince me otherwise.